Oh my God.
Sorry, no. Carol Ann Duffy is the current poet laureate. So, yeah, she's the current.
Interesting.
She is still the poet laureate. She was poet laureate when we were in school.
Wow. She was in my anthology. She was in my exam. She was in my head.
Oh, she's been poet laureate since 2009.
Okay.
So it's only been about 10 years?
10 years. Wow. When does the job change? Okay, so poetry, the way that we learn poetry is through what English literature means and what they think English language means. Sorry, I have to say it in that exact way.
Pretty much.
And I think that they need to allow children to be creative and imaginative with their minds, where they can start constructing, through poetry, they can start constructing ideas that make sense and then that are relevant to today. Like we said earlier, like, why aren't we talking about today? Why isn't today existing in our in our curriculum?
Why do we learn like things that are taught to the same people 50, maybe even more years ago? Exactly. Why are we still learning about that shit now?
Exactly.
When what the world has changed drastically. Why are we not learning about this?
That's not even an understatement.
Why is there not a subject in school called current affairs?
Current affairs, exactly. Or like I said, why isn't there a module in university that should be called the present day? And you learn about yesterday, the day after, and you find out, wow, it's changed again. Okay, what's happening on the present day? We don't. And if we keep teaching people like through history, we're going to forget to like create a very well written history for ourselves. And like I said, man, if it has to start under a system like a school, then start doing it properly. And poetry has become so prominent. I went to Slough Empowered the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
And and I spoke there, and guess what, right? I performed just like a standard poem I wrote over 2 days, and I was like, I'll write for the audience type, and I can't memorize stuff anyways. And I went there, and so many like people between the age of I think 10 and 14, or like 12 and 14 performed. Oh my days. I literally had to like give them. They got bars. Oh my God, bars, Solomon's words. They've got bars. And you know what? At one point, my jaw dropped, and I was the last person who stopped my clap because my jaw dropped.
It's because they don't have the filter that we have as adults. Like, there you go. They just drop bars.
They drop bars so heavy that people in the audience are like, the adults are clicking fingers, and you're like thinking, yeah, man, you trust me, these guys are with it. They're getting it. And I was like thinking, wow, this is a generation that we're seeing that's coming forward.
Do you know what the funniest thing is? The generation that's coming forward, they know how bad things are that we're doing, but they still continually do it. Like, I think I was watching this interview about, there's this, on the new iPhone update, they're bringing in this thing that tells you, I think exactly how long... No. It's on the new Instagram upgrade. They're going to be telling you how long you spend on the app.
Wow, okay.
Apparently, it's something that they're trying to implement for the new thing. So they had... No, it was definitely... No, sorry. It was definitely on the iPhone update. Update, they had something that tells you exactly how long you spend on your phone.
Wow.
And what apps you spend more time on, how long you spend on it, how... Like, it tells you, like, when you, like, pick up your phone just to check it.
Wow.
How long you just hover on the home screen for, and exactly so you know, like, your phone habits. And like then it looks at like what apps you use the most, and then they've done this test between a grown man and this small girl. And the grown man, he spent most of his time on Twitter, and the girl spent most of her time on Instagram. And while she was...
I'm going to laugh at this shit at the end, man. You're going to hate me for it, but go on.
And then while it was going on, like, she was saying, oh, it's funny that you can tell how long you've been using it. And then it was funny that the little girl was the one to actually say that, I don't think it's a good thing that we spend all this time on our phones, because I see the kind of disconnect. But I still do it.
How the fuck do you find that shit, man?
And I was just like, but if a girl like as young, she's maybe 10, she's aware of everything that's going on to an understanding of an adult, but she's just so like involved in it. Everyone else is
doing it, and I don't have to use my brain, so I might as well do it. Okay, this is the problem with some sort of statistic or like a data like that, is like, how qualitative is it? Like, if I spend a lot of time on Instagram, am I updating and making a business out for myself, or getting my name out there? And that obviously Instagram is known for. Or am I actually just going there and just basically like searching up shit and just basically scrolling through like they really need to make sure they break that down into charts as well.
I think they were trying to on Instagram.
An effective way to use it, or not an effective way to use it. But
I think they should, because it is becoming a problem, this whole technology. People, like, from the fact that when I heard that being addicted to Facebook is actually a mental health thing now. And I was just like, what? You could be addicted to Facebook?
Yeah, like I was surprised when I found out you can get addicted to gaming. Like when I was like, oh my god, that's a thing now. People are not leaving their rooms for like 24 hours because they need to play games.
Well, which I can understand, because it's just they make you. It's the whole thing. Everything's easier on. You can just do everything from just sat on your Jack Jones. Just sat on the chair. I want food. Do I need to go to the shop? Nah. Do I need to call no one? Nah. I just jump on that.
Just jump on that.
Don't talk to no one. Well, how long is it coming? Alright, cool. I'll be ready.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll be ready. Yeah, I can have a nap for 40 minutes before the Domino's pizza come,
And just in case they do come, I'll put my phone on loud.
Yeah, I'll put my phone on loud. I'll even make an alarm. If I don't hear the first one, I'll make one in 5 minutes, because I know I can do it.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Okay, talking about health, right? And talking about like technology and like how much we use it and stuff. I worked in opticians for 10 years, Corey.
You worked where, sorry?
In opticians. So I've worked in franchises, boutiques, independents. I've worked alongside NHS as well, like with corporate businesses.
Okay, that's cool.
And one thing I learned was that kids are basically on their screens so much that kids at the age of early as between 4 or 5 are getting glasses. And someone, an optometrist, once said to me, he goes, there will come a point where everyone's going to need glasses. Even adults past the age of 38 and 45, if they've never ever had glasses, before they even come in and I look at their date of birth, I'm like, okay, she's never had specs. She's going to come out and she's probably going to need it for everything or just reading, because your computer screen is so close. Samsung was, I think, one of the first ones to do it. They introduced the blue light filter. So when you turn it on, it's the same as the Nikon filter that they've got in the lenses, which they started introducing, the blue one. And that does that for your screen, so your eyes are not affected.
My iPhone does it at night. It's called night mode or something. It just automatically turns off the blue light.
That's it. And then that really helps your eyes. Because it's the amount of melanin that's basically not being restored back, because your eyes are open and you're staring at the screen so long.
What else is
relevance, man.
Well, he did...
There's more questions.
One more.
Go on. Make it the one.
I shall make it up.
That's the perfect question. The one that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
What is the question of the present day?
So you write about, I guess, your take on life.
Yeah.
You are a poet of split minds. So, if you had advice for any up-and-coming poets that were unsure about performing, because you've just recently performed for the first time.
Yeah, like I recently just started performing.
Yeah, exactly. I only started performing a year ago.
Yeah, because of my anxiety, I couldn't, but I've been challenging it each time. Yeah.
So if you had any advice or, help, or what would you say to someone who is up and coming and who was maybe just writing stuff down, but they really wanted to perform, but they just weren't sure about it?
Okay. When you feel that way, what you're doing is you're holding yourself against yourself. Now, the first thing I always say to you is that you already have the confidence inside you. You are not the person who is demotivating yourself to get out there and say something. And guess what? Nothing or something will happen. It's a win-win at the same time. But what you've managed to do is slowly, no matter how, for me it was anxiety, so no matter how much you thought you did not, you can't get yourself on the platform, which is a stage, in front of a microphone, and just speak, even if it's low, even if it's loud, whatever you say, words are words. So you just have to take that first step. And that first step, once you take it, you won't look back after that first step. And the thing is, you might shake, you might tremble, you might sweat, and you might get so nervous inside that your guts feel so tight. But once you do it, you're going to go back again. And guess what? The next time it will become 10% easier or maybe 5% easier. And you keep doing it. And what will happen is you're going to develop yourself as such a person that you would start forgetting what it felt like to be nervous at one point when you were doing something. And it's because you gain that confidence, and that level of confidence you gain gives you that comfort to be yourself. And the idea is to be yourself, because when you're being yourself, you are hearing yourself before other people hear you. And we want to hear you. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your opinions, and we want you to get out there and just tell us how real that you can be with us.
Tell us your story.
And tell us your story, and we will do the level best with you as well. So that's why I always say, like, basically, that confidence, you have it. And trust me, boys and girls, you will get that out, and it just takes practice. Remember, that's all you've been taught since you were young. The first words you learn, everything, it took practice. Walking takes practice, talking takes practice, performing in front of someone takes practice. And once you've done it one time, you'll be surprised when you reach the 10th time, because you're going to have so much fun along the way. So that's what I'd say. Yeah,
that's a really good answer. Can't lie. Really good answer. But that is the end of my interview.
We've had some good talks today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming on the show.
It's always been a pleasure.
Oh, I need to unlock this phone as well.
1 hour and 40 minutes.
Right, so I'll call that the end of the show. So thank you at home for listening to this very possibly windy episode.
Or the fact that you think we're about to go on a flight somewhere, or out of this country to be stress-free.
But thank you for listening. And if you haven't enjoyed your time on the podcast, then more for you for sat there at home and listening for 1 hour and 42 minutes. Like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, man, what's wrong with you?
Do you have anything to plug, Minnie, before you leave?
All I would say is, first of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a very enriching evening, most definitely. And what I'd say is, I speak for mental health, and what I would say is that this creativity that you're coming up with and what we're doing, all together, like, it's everywhere now, universally. And I just want to make sure that with what you are doing and what I'm doing, we are going to continuously keep promoting the idea of creative.
Yeah.
And it's creative people and places, and that's exactly where we're trying to take our message. And
100%.
It's beautiful. I mean, this podcast is just amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.